For centuries, the Vatican City has stood as a beacon of faith, a place where the faithful seek solace and guidance from the holy men who lead them. Within its walls, popes have risen to prominence, shaping the course of history with their pronouncements and decrees. But the path of the papacy, much like the history of mankind itself, is not without its dark corners. Power, as the old adage tells us, corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Throughout the ages, the hallowed halls of the Vatican have borne witness to the reigns of some who have succumbed to the intoxicating allure of power. Men who, despite their vows of piety and devotion, have ruled with iron fists, their actions a stark contrast to the teachings they were meant to uphold. In this series, we delve into the annals of history to uncover the stories of 10 such men. 10 popes whose reigns were marred by controversy, cruelty, and an insatiable thirst for power. From the scandalous to the downright sinister, their tales serve as a stark reminder that even within the most sacred of institutions, darkness can fester. Our journey into the depths of papal depravity begins in the 9th century with Pope Stephen VI. Imagine, if you will, the year is 897 AD. Pope Formosus, Stephen's predecessor, had died under a cloud of suspicion. Stephen, driven by ambition and vengeance, decided to put these accusations to the test. He ordered the exhumation of Formosus's already decomposing corpse. The former pope, his flesh putrefying, was dressed in full papal regalia and propped up on a throne. The decaying corpse of Formosus was subjected to a trial presided over by Stephen himself. The Cadaver Synod stands as a chilling testament to the depths of depravity that even those entrusted with the highest spiritual authority can sink to. From the macabre reign of Stephen VI, we move to the 10th century, a time when the papacy found itself embroiled in scandal and intrigue. At the heart of this tumultuous period was Pope John XII. Elevated to the position at 18, likely due to his powerful family, he inherited a position he was ill-equipped to handle. Under John's leadership, the Lateran Palace transformed into a den of debauchery. Rumors of orgies, fueled by copious amounts of wine and numerous women, swirled through the Holy City. Accusations of simony, the buying and selling of church offices, plagued his papacy. He was accused of using the church's coffers to fund his lavish lifestyle and to reward his allies. John XII's papacy serves as a stark reminder that even the holiest of offices are not immune to the corrupting influence of power and the allure of vice. The 11th century dawned with the papacy still reeling from the scandals of the previous century. Yet amidst the turmoil, a new figure emerged, one whose reign would further tarnish the reputation of the Holy See. His name was Benedict IX. Benedict's ascension to the papacy was scandalous. He was elected 3 times, his reigns punctuated by periods of exile and intrigue. His first election in 1032 was marred by allegations of bribery and intimidation. Benedict's first reign was a disaster from the start, marked by debauchery, violence, and a complete disregard for the sanctity of his office. Benedict IX, the thrice elected, twice deposed, and once seller of the papacy, left behind a legacy of corruption and scandal. Chapter 4. The Pope who dared to challenge kings. As the 13th century drew to a close, the papacy found itself locked in a bitter power struggle with the rising kingdoms of Europe. At the heart of this conflict was Pope Boniface VIII. Boniface's papacy was marked by escalating confrontations with King Philip IV of France. In 1302, Boniface issued Unam Sanctam, asserting the absolute supremacy of the papacy over all secular rulers. Boniface's attempts to assert papal authority over kings ultimately backfired, contributing to the decline of papal power and the rise of national monarchies. Chapter 5. The Sins of the Borgias. The Renaissance witnessed a period of moral laxity within the Church, epitomized by the infamous Borgia Pope, Alexander VI. Born Rodrigo Borgia, Alexander's rise to the papacy was paved with ambition and ruthlessness. Alexander's election in 1492 sent shockwaves through Christendom. Rumors of simony and bribery swirled around him. Once in power, Alexander transformed the Vatican into a stage for his family's ambition. His son, Cesare Borgia, became a notorious figure, feared for his cruelty and ambition. Alexander VI's papacy left an indelible stain on the reputation of the Church. Chapter 6. The Pope who unleashed the Crusades. The year is 1095. Pope Urban II stands before a vast crowd in Clermont. He speaks of the suffering of Christians in the Holy Land and the need to reclaim Jerusalem. Urban's words ignite a firestorm of religious fervor. The First Crusade, though successful in capturing Jerusalem, unleashed a wave of violence and bloodshed. Urban II died in 1099, just weeks before the fall of Jerusalem. His legacy remains inextricably linked to the Crusades, a reminder of the power of religious fervor and its devastating consequences. Chapter 7. The Pope who sacked Constantinople. The 13th century dawned with the papacy at the zenith of its power. Pope Innocent III ruled over Christendom with an iron fist. The Fourth Crusade, launched in 1202, was diverted to Constantinople. In 1204, the Crusaders laid siege to Constantinople. The city fell after a brutal assault, and the Crusaders rampaged through the city. The sack of Constantinople marked the beginning of the end for the Byzantine Empire. Innocent III's decision had disastrous consequences for the Byzantine Empire and left a lasting legacy of bitterness and division within Christendom. In Chapter 8, the Grand Inquisitor. The 16th century dawned with Europe in the throes of religious upheaval. At the helm of the Catholic Church was Pope Paul IV. Paul IV's papacy was dominated by his fanatical pursuit of religious uniformity. He strengthened the Inquisition and gave it sweeping powers. Under Paul IV's watchful eye, the Inquisition's reign of terror intensified. Paul IV's zeal for religious purity extended beyond the persecution of Protestants. His actions deepened the religious divisions within Europe and fueled the fires of hatred and intolerance. Chapter 9. The Medici Pope and the Price of Indulgences. The Italian Renaissance witnessed a period of growing decadence and corruption within the Church. Nowhere was this more evident than in the reign of Pope Leo X. Leo X's election in 1513 was greeted with jubilation in Rome. However, Leo's extravagant lifestyle came at a price. To finance his projects, Leo resorted to the sale of indulgences. The sale of indulgences sparked outrage among many Christians, including Martin Luther. Luther's actions ignited the Protestant Reformation, a movement that would shatter the unity of Christendom. Chapter 10. The Conspiracy of the Pazzi. The Italian Renaissance was an era of ruthless power struggles and political intrigue. At the heart of this turbulent world was Pope Sixtus IV. Sixtus's nepotism earned him powerful enemies, including the Medici family. Tensions came to a head in 1478 with the Pazzi Conspiracy. The assassination attempt on Lorenzo de' Medici backfired spectacularly. Sixtus IV faced the wrath of the Florentines and their allies. Sixtus IV's involvement in the Pazzi conspiracy left an indelible stain on his papacy. Chapter 11. The Dark Side of the Papacy. The papacy, a beacon of faith for billions, has been held by men who have inspired generations with their piety and wisdom. But as we have seen, the path of the papacy is not without its moments of darkness and despair. The 10 popes whose stories we have explored stand as stark reminders that power can corrupt. Their reigns serve as cautionary tales, reminding us that the pursuit of power, unchecked by morality or compassion, can lead to the darkest of deeds. As we close this chapter, let us remember that history is a tapestry woven from the triumphs and tragedies of countless individuals. It is in understanding the complexities of the past that we can hope to navigate the present and build a better future.